Hello everyone, this is Banter Bill, and welcome to Arah, Path 1 Dungeon Guide. This is not a speedrunning guide, but a guide meant for those who are new to the dungeon or for those who need a refresher. In terms of class composition, having at least one Mesmer can be very helpful for Loopy the mid-boss, and having Guardians and Warriors and other high armor classes are very helpful as well. Starting off, we're going to just skip these first few parts. Having a Thief, I guess, is also helpful because we can just stealth past those first few mobs. If you have Reflex, go ahead and use those on those turrets that are shooting all those bullets. Then we're just going to stop here and kill all these spiders, and we're going to actually go back to lure the boss back to where we've been. So we're going to kill these turrets. Some groups like to fight this boss on top of this tree right here, but I like to fight him back at the rock. So I'm just going to clear all these turrets. My group is going to go back to the rock, and I will pull the boss to that rock and we'll just fight him there. If you're the one pulling the boss, just stay at range. The only thing you need to watch out for is his big stop attack. If you get hit by that attack, it'll knock you down. So I'm just pulling the big Uzi back to my group on the rock. Looks like one of our group members didn't make it quite on top, so we'll just revive him. Then from here, you can either melee the boss or range him. If you melee, the downside is you have to keep pressing 1 over and over again. So I started doing that, just melee, 1, 1, 1. And then I got lazy and decided just to switch to my greatsword so I could just AFK attack. The upside to fighting the boss here is that once the boss gets down to 25%, you need to pick up something that he drops and bring it back to the NPC who's right here. So if you're already here, it just makes that so much easier. Once you get down to 25%, as a Mesmer, I like to use Mass Invisibility because when he explodes, a bunch of mobs are going to pop out. Our Thief also used his Shadow Refuge here just to get some more stealth in case I missed or something. So since we were all stealth, no bad guys, perfect, and we just pick up that thing that the boss drops and bring it back to this NPC. Easy as that. If you fight on the tree, someone is going to have to pick up that item that the boss dropped and run it back. Alright, we're going to skip again after we kill this turret thing. The theme of this dungeon is running through a lot of mobs, so having a Thief is really beneficial. So our Thief is using stealth, and we're just going to start running. The main things to watch out for here is that these drakes will shoot poison clouds, which hurts a lot. And these oozes is what you really need to watch out for, because if you get hit by the oozes, you'll get crippled. And being crippled in a run part is not good. So we just keep on trucking with our thieves, who are, again, very helpful. And to break aggro, you want to run all the way to the left and just on top of this cliff. You don't want to jump down. If you do, it's not the end of the world because there is a place to get back up. But you have to deal with those drakes down there. So we just killed everything that followed us, which was one little Uzi. Then if you forgot to activate the NPC on the way, you need to go back and do that. So I just quickly run over here, activate the NPC, which will start the event, and then run back to the cliffside to break aggro. Now the gimmick here on this part I actually like a lot, and I guess I'll explain that in a bit when we actually get there. So we just run over here, we got some Uzis and Drakes that followed us. In fact, somehow we aggro the boss, not entirely sure how we managed that. It may have been my reflex, it may have been the NPC, I don't know. But the gimmick with these bosses is that to hurt them, you need to stand in the light. Now when you stand in the light, that'll give you a condition which allows you to hurt them and put the damage over time on you. So the longer you stay in the light, the more damage you can do to these champions, but also the more damage you take from the DOT. Now the champions can also hurt you, but as long as you keep moving, you'll probably be okay. Unfortunately, as a Mesmer, my phantasms don't work because they need the condition to hurt things, and they don't stay alive long enough inside the light to actually do that. So if you are a Phantasm Mesmer, the best you can do is shatter your Phantasms. That will use your damage, so from your DOT on you. But I just find as a Mesmer, it's a bit unfortunate that Phantasms don't do any damage. The Blurred Frenzy, though, is great because you can just get a lot of stacks on you, use Blurred Frenzy, and not have to worry about getting hit. Now, if you do go down, it's hard to revive you because if the champions are chasing you, you really can't stop. But if you do go down, at least try to get down outside the light, because if you're inside the light, it's even worse. People reviving you will have that DOT. So I just kite around. When the DOT gets too high or my health gets too low, I leave the light, heal up a bit, and just go back in. And I also don't think you can rally off these champions. That's what our other Mesmer tried to do and it didn't work. So I just decided to heal myself instead of rallying. And that's it. This part's much easier if you have a Guardian that can take a lot of hits because he'll just draw all the aggro and everyone else can just concentrate on being alive. Fortunately, our team composition is really squishy, so we just had to do it running around in circles. The chest is behind where that event was. You don't need stealth. As long as you get there, you probably won't aggro the drakes. Then once you get the chest, jump down off the cliff and keep moving. There is an explodey detonator here that will kill all these ads. If you want to, if you have a group that's up for it, you can farm these guys, just kill all the weak ore guys for the moldy bags. We were in a bit of a hurry though, so we just decided to detonate. Now, if someone died and you did that champion part without them, or you wiped somewhere down the road and need to run back, a Mesmer can actually portal from the waypoint. You just go against that cliffside that we just passed on the right hand, and you can place the portal, waypoint, and then place the end of the portal on the other side. I find that very helpful for classes that have a bit of trouble running through this part. Alright, then we're on to face the Tar Boss. The gimmick for the Tar Boss is that you want to keep him on fire at all times. If you don't keep him on fire, he'll drop AoEs where if you get hit, you'll be covered in tar, and really the only way to get out of that is to go down, so you don't want to do that. To spawn the boss, you need to activate the NPC, and then stand on the 4 oil spouts. Once you do that, get him on fire ASAP. Our Elementalist handled the initial fire, then me and the other Mesmer will handle all subsequent fires. You see on the ground, I purposely walk into the fire AoEs, then use Arcane Thievery to put it right back on the boss. That'll stack at least a minute or two of burning on. This makes the fight so much easier. If you have Reflex, go ahead and use them because the ads will shoot projectiles, and so just being able to focus on the boss and not worry about the ads is useful. Every 25%, you'll need to go back to your spouts to respawn the boss. I find it easier if you just go back to the same spout you started off on. That ensures that all the spouts are covered. And then we just DPS down the boss. We don't have to worry about fire since we have Mesmers using Arcane Thievery, and the Elementalists handle the initial fire. If you have Guardians, using the F1 skill to light them up starting off is also helpful. Alright. Then once you beat the boss, we're all just going to stack right here to kill off these ads. Reflects are somewhat useful against this silver guy. He does use some projectile attacks. If you're a Mesmer, you can also portal people by jumping down off this edge and then having them run from the first waypoint as well. We kill that Zerker there. Some groups skip them. If you feel like you may wipe on Loopy, it's a good idea to kill him just because it makes it easier to run back the next time around. On this part, if you have Reflex, go ahead and use them against these turrets. It will reflect the attacks back to the turrets, just makes the fight so much easier. We accidentally aggro this guy, not a big deal because I pull him back into this corner. Don't aggro anymore. So as a Mesmer, I would use my feedback and temporal curtain on these turrets just to reflect everything back. So I just use my feedback here and then melee it down. Now to open this gate, you need to kill these 2 big abominations. Now if you have thieves, this is easy. You keep blinding them in this corner. You want to lure them into this corner to avoid aggroing anything else. They have pretty predictable attacks. Even if you do get hit, it doesn't hurt too much. The main thing you need to watch out for is that charge attack. That will down you if you get caught in that thing. You want to run in here after you beat those 2 guys. If you pulled anything else, just kill everything you pull. Now coming up we have Loopy. Loopy is in every single path of Arah. So if you've done another path of an Arah, it's the same fight. As a Mesmer, I equip Feedback, my Stability skill, and Blink. Then I change my duration on Glamour skills to Medic's Feedback. I find that useful, so when someone goes down, I get a feedback every 10 seconds. Now for the first stage of Loopy, he has 3 attacks. His Kick attack, which he just did, his Breath attack, which does nothing, and then his Hand Flourish right now. Now you need to dodge at the top of that Hand Flourish, otherwise you'll spawn grubs. If Loopy eats a grub, it buffs its toughness and power, so you really don't want to eat a grub. Some inexperienced groups, or groups that aren't confident in melee, will range him. The upside to ranging him is, 1, you avoid his Kick attack, which does hurt a lot if you get hit by it. And if someone does get hit by a grub, you have more time to kill it before it gets the Loopy. Our group is pretty confident that we could dodge the grub attack. We did get 1 grub spawn right there, but the guy just scooted back when he got hit by the grub. So we just melee the boss down, avoiding his Kick attack and his Hand Flourish grub attack. Once that happens, if you have a Mesmer in your group, stack in melee, because the Mesmer can feedback right there and reflect all of those AoEs. It's perfect. The tell for that AoE attack, he'll hug himself and then raise his arms up into the air. Other than that, in phase 2, the only thing you need to watch out for is that Kick attack he just did. So Medic's Feedback was very useful there. If someone went down, my feedback was still up to reflect his AoEs. Then we're on to phase 3. Now there are a couple of attacks you need to watch out for in phase 3. The first one is this Arena Trap attack. The only way to get out of it is Stability or any Warp or Blink skills. So that's why having a Stability skill is useful. Now if you don't move during this fight, he will not use Arena Trap on you. So if you're fighting in melee, just don't move. The second attack you need to watch out for is that Machine Gun attack. If you have Reflex, that attack is reflectable, so go ahead and use it there. Now the last attack is that big AoE attack. You need just to get out of there when he does that. If you're fighting in melee, that's the only time you should leave melee, is to avoid that attack. Then from there, you just melee Loopy down. He does have a couple of other attacks, but if you're in melee range, they will not activate. As a Mesmer for Phantasms, I usually use my Warden and my Pistol guy because they won't move, so they won't trigger the Arena Trap attack. I do go down there trying to be nice and reviving a guy. It's very unfortunate. Thankfully, we do not wipe. Our Elementalist is able to survive. He revives our Guardian, and then our Elementalist revives everyone else. The Guardian just tanks the boss. As a Mesmer, I actually like when he uses Machine Gun attack, like right there, because it just brings him down faster. I just use feedback. It's not a problem at all. And that's it. That's Loopy.
I want that.
For this next running part, I go sword focus, sword sword. I bring focus for swiftness. Mesmers don't have a lot of access to swiftness. And I bring the sword for that one block attack. So we're just going to stack right here, and our thief is going to stealth us past these first group of guys. around that corner there is a corpse on the ground. If you run into those corpses, they will explode, so try not to do that. I find the most dangerous part, these two guys right here, I guess the second most dangerous. They have a Chaos Storm, which really hurts, and they can chill you as well. These Drakes and these Gorillas, as long as you keep running forward, they will not catch up to you. We're just going to keep running the whole way. The most dangerous thing here, if you get crippled, it's really bad. You'll probably go down if you get crippled, because then you won't be able to outrun the guys. So our Guardian gets left behind because he got crippled and died. Here, these spiders, if you have stealth up, use it here. If you don't, reflect attacks on the champion are useful. If you can, without dying, you want to grab a crystal and bring it on to the next part. So I just keep on running with my crystal. Now, unfortunately, I'm the only one who survives this part. Thankfully, if you have a class with a lot of projectile reflex, you can solo this boss. That's what I decided to do. Now the gimmick, this boss has two attacks. One attack is an AoE attack, which you need just to dodge away from. It's pretty predictable as well. His second attack is like a Pong attack. You need to reflect it back to him. Now if you have a reflecting crystal, you just have to stand there and reflect it back. But the regular reflects, like wall of reflection and feedback, work as well. So that's what I use eventually, because sometimes, like right here, your crystal breaks, which solo is pretty bad, but I somehow managed to survive. Now usually with 5 people you would have multiple crystals, but maybe not enough for everyone. So if you only have 2 crystals with 5 people, just have the people without crystals stand behind the people with crystals. That way if the guy does target you, the people with the crystals will catch the attack. So here I use my temple curtain, my feedback, and my mirror skill. Fortunately my warden, which can also reflect, doesn't stay alive long enough to hurt this guy. So I barely managed to survive here. Get that last reflect off with 10% health. It's kind of lucky there at the end. And that's it. It's probably the easiest boss at the end of Arah, because it's soloable. Now if you want to watch at the end, there's a sweet telescope for you. And I will leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys.